way. Could be a chance for Katoto, and Buchanan was needed at the last second to make a vital interception. I think the referee has actually blown for a foul in the end, at the end of that. Well, the Canadian defenders at the moment being worked all over the place. Nice little piece of play by the centre-back, don't forget, Mbok Batty. The danger usually comes more in the air with a head. Amandine Henry again with one of those trademark interceptions in midfield. Majri can't get it past Schmidt. And Canada once again can try to clear their lines. Trying to play themselves out of defence again with Becky. Buchanan. French defending high. Halfway line. And in the end, forcing them into rather rash high balls forward like that one. Canada have been in great form of late. Started off in Amandine Henry getting a little bit too aggressive there, but the French at the moment really going into those challenges with a lot more meat than their Canadians are at the moment. The Canadians hanging on a little bit, making desperate last-second challenges. The French challenges are setting up attacks like that one there, Katoto. Down the wing, plenty of support as well, if she can get it into the middle. Amandine Henry's going to think about it, hits Buchanan. Kachawi out to Majri. Again, the left-back goes down the flanks, gets the ball into the box, and it's too close to the goalkeeper. And it's an easy catch for Kaylin Sheridan. Well, they're using both flanks early on, are the French. So far, though, unable to break through. Quarter of an hour gone, still France 0, Canada 0 in this opening match of the inaugural Tournoi de France. An hour or so up the road, Brazil and the Netherlands are getting ready for the kickoff of their opener in Valenciennes. Say goes down under the challenge from Jade Riviere. See that the French woman hanging on as much as the Canadian. I want to say in Majri again. It's Majri this time, short to Amandine Henry. Looking across, and there's a foul by Wendy Reynard in the middle. Wendy Reynard looks a little bit incredulous. On a slightly different tactic, slightly different angle for the ball into the box. Well, it was all a little bit unfortunate, really. Not an awful lot in that. Henry with the ball in, and Reynard really just fell over. Nevertheless, play underway again. Riviere, oh, she's given the ball away again. Good pressure by Assay. Majri into the middle. Katoto back to Henry again. And again, they start building. Out wide by Goyoro. Torrent, another dangerous ball in. Well, Majri is not noted for her heading ability, but tried to go up for it with Riviere. And Canada might just get the sniff here of a counter-attack. Not anymore. Kachawi, well and truly felled by Janine Becky. Reassurances that it was an honest mistake, no yellow card needed. It was a little late though. And Botbati. Haven't seen her very much in her usual centre-back positioning, such has been the territorial and possessional advantage enjoyed by France in this opening 20 minutes or so. Reynard. Sayi. Majri just about managed to get it back out from under her feet. Reynard again into Henry. Great first touch to be able to spread the ball out wide to Torrent again. Goyoro. Again, the Canadians not really making challenges until it gets right up against their penalty area. That's better. Sinclair. Feeds it out to Lawrence, and Lawrence is dispossessed by Diani. And then Lawrence, the Canadian, makes a good recovery. Scrappy, Sinclair picks it up. Canadian skipper. Back to Schmidt. And again, the Canadians really struggling to keep hold of the ball at the moment. This is Desiree Scott in the headband. Another good challenge. And Majri decides to go for goal, hits it well enough, but it was always going wide. Well, Armelle Majri, who really is the woman that sets up the ammunition for others to score from, going for a little bit of glory herself. She's had over 50 caps now, but not that many goals in that time. Perhaps that's the one area where she needs to really just improve a bit, because her setting up of goals is exemplary. Real slip. Just the wrong moment from Janine Becky. Henry. Out to Kachawi, not to Majri outside of it, decides to come back inside instead. Decent ball, Katoto. Asei didn't quite know what she was going to do with it. And it's stolen by Ashley Lawrence. Oh, that's a better ball. Well, there could be a chance here, but look at the speed of Mbati. Oh, that's... she's one of the most accomplished centre-backs in women's football now. She's got everything. Majri gets there, good strength against Rivière. Rivière, though, gets back to her feet and is in front of her. Majri trying to get there, and that doesn't go behind, so no corner to the relief of the Canadians. Majri apologises for not being able to get the ball into the box. Trying a few step-overs, but Rivière wasn't going to have any of it. Good piece of defending. This was the ball forward, but the speed there of Mbotbati. And of course, has youth on her side as well. And she's up against Christine Sinclair. At the moment, Witama there, who's lowest of those two. A lot younger. But nevertheless, Mbotbati is an impressive centre-back. Buchanan, speaking of impressive centre-backs. Not sure she needed to really go down after there. She'd won the duel. Asei just trying to nip in and nick the ball. Well, Corinne Diac will be pleased with the amount of territory and possession they've had, but a little frustrated they haven't done more with it. Whereas Mr. Heiner-Moller, I would imagine, will be, well, his assessment will probably be the opposite. He won't be happy with the territory and possession statistics, but he'll be relieved. At least they are still goalless. But they need to start creating something. Halfway through the first half then here at the Stade de l'Épopée in Calais, and it's still France 0, Canada 0. France with all the attack, but not very much to show for it so far. Just a couple of shots by Asei and by Majri, and a lot of set pieces that they haven't really managed to create very much with as yet. Witama nicely dragged back. It will be a free kick. Foul against Asei. Haven't seen Rivière being able to come forward very much. It was a nice turn, just drew the challenge in. But rather than send an attacking ball forward, they've played it backwards instead. Schmidt looking for Sinclair. Janine Becky trying to race onto it, and finally a foothold in the last third for Canada. It's going to be Janine Becky who takes it. Decent ball in, but well followed by Sarah Bouhadi, the France keeper. A little bit more air on that than perhaps was intended. Applause coming from Mbokambati for a set piece well defended, although to be fair, it was a set piece rather wasted by the Canadians. Something like 10-1 in terms of corners at the moment. But it's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. And Mbokambati decides to come forward and is met by Witama. No way forward for Kidiatu Diani. Reynard tries it down the other flank with Kachawi. Left back gets it back again and skips inside. Space opening up in front of her. Still going. Back to Madri. Dangerous ball in. And Katoto couldn't quite get there and fouled the goalkeeper. Schmidt and Sheridan with a little fist pump. But this is worrying in the Canadian midfield. Kachawi allowed to go all the way into the area, and it was rather her own indecision that meant that she wasn't able to do something a little better with it. In the end, took the escape route, and Masri sent in a decent ball. I have to say that the Canadian goalkeeper looked more impeded by her own player than by the French woman. Kept her on the ball well, though, playing today for Stephanie Lavedi. And well marshalled back to Bahadi, this time by Wendy Reynard after that worrying moment 10 minutes or so ago, where they kind of got in each other's way. Reynard again. Plays it in. Katoto has come back into midfield, and first touch is not the best. No way forward for Buchanan, so he plays it to Schmidt. French again, defending high up the park. Trying to force Canada into pressure. And this is better passing from the Canadians. Buchanan. Now she gets the chance to get her head up, looking for Witama. Oh, that's loose from Bouhadi. Rather unnecessary throw-in conceded to the Canadians. But again, they go backwards. Desiree Scott, that's better, forward. Into Becky. Becky is tackled, though. By Gaoro, excuse me. Torrent manages to keep the ball in. And back to the goalkeeper. Reynard. Across to her centre-back partner again, Grige and Mbokambati. Lovely ball forward for Kachawi to chase after, and she'll keep it in too. Riviere, once again, doing the marking. Armel Majri, little give and go. This time, though, she can't return it to a more attacking teammate. So it goes back to Henry. Henry drives forward. Turns around Desiree Scott, and Desiree Scott's marking had the desired effect. Now forward, and Torrent is a cut-off going forward by Alicia Chapman. Asei. More space again on this left-hand side for Kachawi. Majri, those two finding each other very regularly. Asei with a ball that's far too overhit. And another easy catch for Caelan Sheridan. Doesn't get an awful lot of chances in the first team, with Stephanie Lave very much the number one these days. And it comes again, and Majri! Brilliant piece of defending there. Sophie Schmidt had to make the decision really quickly to go for it, and did. It'll be another corner, but that's not quite like the other ones. That is a really goal-saving challenge from the Canada centre-back. Majri skips across again to take the corner kick. And it goes wide, another corner. Sinclair there. Well, she's as important at set pieces in defence as she is going forward. It's Christine Sinclair. It's another corner though, so the danger is still very much there. And it's cleared off the line this time. Half an hour gone and Canada just hanging on a little bit at the moment. Asei. Kachawi knew she was going to make the run. And this time it goes all the way through and Sheridan gratefully falls upon it. It's a lovely ball in. It was a different corner taker this time around. And Buchanan, and a combination of her and the goalkeeper, just about managing to keep it out. In the last 10 minutes, France beginning to try to tighten the knot. But as it is, it's still France 0, Canada 0 here in Calais. Rain has stopped, which will help everybody. Buchanan, who plays her club football with Lyon, knows a lot of this French team very well indeed. Her 4th season in France. Nice turn. And a decent ball forward as well from Desiree Scott into the path of Lawrence, but she was dealt with by Diani. Scott again. This time decides to face it square. Forward by Schmidt. France just dropping off their pressing at the moment, and that's allowing Canada to come forward. Again, a chance here for Lawrence. Sinclair, Huitema, better, Riviere. Now the cross into the box, looking for Sinclair, and it's just over the bar. That was not far away. Well, Mel, she might look a little Riley there. It was a lovely ball in, and she beat Wendy Raynar in the air. And the 36-year-old all-time record holder in international goals scored with 186, not too far away from number 187. I have to say, that's the best chance in the game so far. And certainly, I would say, the best attempt. Buchanan nicely steps away from Asei. Yes. Well, she hasn't done an awful lot wrong so far as Sheridan, but that wasn't too pretty. Another dangerous ball into the box. However, they're not managing to get French heads on the end of these things. Torrent. And she's offside, the right back, after that return ball from her. Well, that was tight, to say the least. Not 100% sure that she was offside, but there's no VAR, and there's a problem here for Sheridan. With an adductor by the looks of it. Well, that wouldn't be good. Well, if she does have to come off, the Canadians, I don't think, will be too upset with Stephanie Labbe primed and ready to come on to replace her, the usual number one. But this would be a shame for Sheridan if she was to have to come off. This woman who's become essential to her United States club, Sky Blue FC, since joining them in 2017. Currently holds the league record for most saves in a season for them as well, over 100. I wonder whether or not she did that, or whether she tried to kick that ball just a moment ago, or whether their injury happened as a result of her kicking that ball. 10 minutes to go. It's not something you want to do, lie in the cold rain. It is cold here in northern France. Although if you're watching from Canada, you're probably laughing at that. It's more wet and cold, rather than downright freezing. Well, the Canadian team had all come across to this near side whilst their goalkeeper was getting some attention in the goal. Little impromptu talk from Kenneth Heiner-Moller. Looks as though she's going to be okay, which is good news. I wonder how many goal kicks she takes from now on, though. Well, she's going to try it. Well, this will be interesting to see. Well, she gets hold of it, and she's running back into her area without any kind of limp. Meanwhile, it's picked up by the French. A little bit of a loose ball forward, though, by Gayoro. Henry with the header. It's well done by Sinclair. Feeds it into the path of Ashley Lawrence. Witema looking down the line, but she's won inside, and that should be a free kick for the foul on Chris. The yellow card for Wendy Reynard. Slightly wry look back at her from Chapman. That was not a pretty challenge. We haven't seen much of that in the game. Caution not surprising. Free kick. Then to Canada. The last set piece was a corner. It's only the second set piece they've had in the French half, in an attacking position. So then Becky with the ball into the middle. Dangerous. Sinclair again missed it this time. Better job done by the two centre-backs for France. Buchanan allows it to go out for a throw. Sinclair, an uncompromising centre-forward. It's getting closer as we get closer to half-time. Schmidt. Decent ball in, but watched all the way by Reynard, and it will go out for a corner. Starting to just get the pressure up a little bit here, the French, or the Canadians on the French. Corner in, out by Henri, and she is fouled, I think, from behind by Witema. Becky with the corner in. Didn't really see where the foul was there. Well, it's a shame that the weather has come in like this. It's been clear all day, and then just as they came out onto the pitch, a sort of rather cold drizzle suddenly appeared. Thought it might have gone away, but the weather looks like it's now closing in much more around the Stade de l'Épopée. It's nicely brought down. France on the attack. Majri makes her way into the box, but the ball feeds out to Assay instead. She couldn't quite take it, and it forces her out wide. Kachawi now up against Schmidt, goes behind. That should be a goal kick. 5 minutes to go until half-time. And it is, well, it's even Stevens at the moment. Canada having come back into the game in the last few minutes. Might have scored themselves, but as it is, still goalless. Well, that's not a very good kick out, and Katoto was nearly in. Riviere. Now the Canadians finally do get themselves out. Sheridan has had a couple of slightly dodgy kick-outs in the last 10 minutes or so. Assay still going. Good, determined run from the Frenchwoman. Desiree Scott has come back to help out the defence and does well because it forces play back to almost the halfway line. From Botbati across to Reynard. Kidiatu Dani wants it down that right flank. It was intercepted by Chapman. However, the Canadians have given it away again. Marion Torrent. The route to the byline cut off by Rebecca Quinn. Legally and illegally. Already over 50 caps for Canada, Rebecca Quinn. She's only 24 years old. Forward by Torrent. Cut out, though, again by Chapman. And picked up in midfield by Grace Goyoro. Torrent gives it back to her. Diani. To Henri. Space again for Kachawi. A lot of running here for Lawrence. And the running bore fruit because the Canadians have forced a mistake. Ball forward by Sinclair looking for Witema, but Wendy Reynard again, a long, shored, loping stride coming across to cut out the danger. Reynard again. Kachawi making herself available on this near side, but it would take a very good ball to find her. Henri, the captain. Now it does come to Kachawi, feeds it in a little bit over hit to Assay. It's kicked out. Oh, and Assay's done well, but has got the ball illegally. Sinclair going down. Well, it wasn't much of a foul. Well, Sinclair is not usually muscled off the ball, but she certainly was there. I think the Canadian captain can count herself a little fortunate with that decision. Off we go again. Quinn forward. Scott, a little bit under hit, but Buchanan does well there to make something out of nothing. Majri retreats. Buchanan, little jink ball over, looking for Sinclair. It's hit her on the back of the, well, the back of the back. Well, it's a great run. Buchanan saw it, And Sinclair just lost the flight of the ball. And in the end, the only one that really benefited from that was the goalkeeper, Sarah Buhadi. Good ball, Majri. It's got round Riviere, and Riviere makes another good recovery to catch back up with her. It's a nice ball forward, and she's a metre behind is Riviere, but backed herself to get there. However, it is another corner kick, the first half ending the way that it began, with France corners. Majri back on corner duty. Reynard in the middle. And again, it's out by a Canadian head. Ashley Lawrence. Off she goes immediately, but she allowed Assay to catch up with her. 2 minutes of additional time at the end of the first 45. That was Mbok Batty, still in an advanced position. Torren. And Wendy Reynard can start things off again. Kachawi again. Majri makes herself available. Back to the left back. Slightly unusual number for a left back, number 7. Across to Torren, wearing number 4. Could argue is also fairly unusual for her position. That's nicely done though. Diani into the box. Katoto is a really good challenge from Buchanan. Took the ball and everything else. Still the danger is there though. Diani once again. Torren, Diani goes on the run. Torren comes back inside and is brought down from behind this time by Buchanan. No doubt about the free kick there, and a yellow card for the Canadian centre-back, who's had an excellent game until that point. Well, there's no doubt, you just cannot tackle like that in modern-day football. Even if you get the ball, it doesn't matter. That, though, I thought was a magnificent challenge. Majri, once again, surely one of these set pieces is going to pay off at some point as we tick into the last 15 seconds of the half. Decent ball in, Reynard is there. And again, Canada managed to shuffle it out of the area. Back in by Kachawi. And it's gone straight at the goalkeeper from Katoto. First real chance for this really exciting centre forward for France. But at the end of a half where there weren't really very many chances, Majri had a shot that was blocked by Schmidt in the 27th minute. After half an hour, Christine Sinclair had a header that just went over the bar in one of the rare forays forward from the Canadians. Katoto had a challenge there right at the end and headed wide. But at half-time here in Calais at the Stade de l'Épopée, it's France 0, Canada 0.
China is a land of fascinating creatures, and in such a big league, it's normal to be impressed by all of them. But only one can be the new emperor, and in order to achieve that, you have to roar louder than everyone else. Because it doesn't matter here if you are a dragon, if you have a fearsome roar, or if you fly higher than the eagles. In the Chinese Year of the Rat, we will see if there is someone able to dethrone the Tigers. The Chinese Super League is back. Are you ready? Can you imagine that one day, suddenly, all the soccer in the world vanishes? From one day to the next, no more full stadiums, just soulless buildings, apathetic fans, colors that are just that, colors. No need to think hard to realize everything we'd miss. Luckily for us, the exact opposite happens here.
let's have a quick rundown of the best 11 players in the fall season.
We could talk about soccer for hours. And hours and ours. But even better than that, you can see it for yourself. People go to the Dominican Republic to have an amazing vacation. But these women are going there to prove they're not the team of the future. They're the stars of today. From February 22nd to March 8th, CONCACAF Women's Under-20 Championship on OneSoccer.
Injury problems and bad luck have prevented HFX Wanderers from taking full advantage of the quality of Colombian striker Luis Alberto Pereira. The veteran was brought to Nova Scotia as one of the CPL's most intriguing international signings. At 33, Pereira brings plenty of experience to Stephen Hart's squad and has scored over 100 goals during his professional career. He added to that tally by scoring the winner in the Wanderers' first ever victory, a 2-1 win over Forge back in May. Soccer runs through Pereira's veins. Luis Alberto is the son of Luis Carlos Pereira, who represented Colombia at 2 World Cups.
I'm proud of him because that one is the part of my life that he been a soccer player like me. I'm glad to be here. I expect to him tomorrow to get a good game and score because it's the only thing that he do, score.
Luis Alberto Pereira came through the ranks at Atlético Nacional, one of the most productive academies in Colombian soccer. After making the breakthrough to the first team in 2009, he was signed by Peru's León de Huánuco, where he was named the Forward of the Year in the Peruvian top flight. After playing in Ecuador, Chile and the United States, he returned to Peru, this time with Universidad de San Martín in 2012. There he was a teammate to current Halifax midfielder Juan Diego Gutiérrez. Pereira's 3-year spell at the club was the most successful of his career, as he scored 48 goals in 106 matches and claimed the Top Scorers Award in the Peruvian National Cup. Pereira was also successful in El Salvador, where he played for Deportivo FAS in 2017-18 and earned another Golden Boot. After a brief stint back in Colombia with La Equidad, Pereira embraced his second North American adventure, this time with the Wanderers. Impressed with his knack for finding the back of the net, Halifax gave him the number 10 jersey as he became the first Colombian to play in the CPL. Pereira was also a key part of Halifax's cup run, including an excellent performance in the quarter-finals. In that pair of games against the Ottawa Fury, he showed what he can do at his best. Having missed 7 games in a row through injury, he returned to action in the first leg and scored once, whilst manufacturing an own goal with some superb individual skill.
I was injured, but I never stopped training. I'm a guy that I love to train by myself, trying to be fit. It was only on my mind this game, so I try to show the team that even though I was away for that many long, I was still with a lot of passion for the game and wanted this game really bad.
Despite scoring again in the second leg in Ottawa, Pereira and the Wanderers were eliminated through a 5-4 aggregate scoreline. Unfortunately, injuries have not allowed us to see Pereira on the pitch as often as we would have wished. When available, he has left us in no doubt as to the quality he possesses.
They say that time changes your memories. It modifies them according to what you want to remember. And eventually, it makes them disappear. But there are things that, despite the passing of time, are impossible to forget. There is something holed up, biding its time, like a force waiting for the snow to melt, for the ice to thaw, to return, even stronger.
Welcome back to Calais, ready for the second half in the Stade de l'Épopée, named after the epic journey that Calais made so many years ago to the Coupe de France final. Coupe de France semi-finals taking place this week as well in the men's game. Later on tonight, Olympique Lyonnais against Paris Saint-Germain, the men's version. And a number of the women who play for both those clubs on the pitch today as well, for France, and indeed for Canada as well, with Kalisha Buchanan. Well, that was the first half in which France dominated everything except getting a goal. I was talking to Camille Avelli, a former French international attacking midfielder who's working for French TV on this match. And she was impressed by the way they managed to dominate possession, but wasn't very impressed by the way they managed to not do too much with it. And was even worried there when Christine Sinclair almost managed to head Canada into a slightly unexpected lead at the other end. Her judgment, France need to turn that dominance into goals. For Canada, they need to try and stop that route into the last third in the first place. Jessie Fleming coming on for Alicia Chapman in the second half for Canada. Wendy Reyna still talking to the referee. Kaylin Sheridan is still on the park after she had that little problem in the first half with perhaps a little pull of her adductor muscle. Doesn't look as though it's done too much, it was just a tweak maybe. Corinne Diacre, well, she would have been trying to work out how to turn this possession and territory into goals, because at the moment they haven't quite managed to create. Just a couple of chances in the first half. Nothing really more than that. Katoto almost right on the half-time whistle, getting the opener with a header, but so far she has been unable to bring her fine goal-scoring form for a club into the international arena. Kick-off then, second half with France kicking from left to right in the second period. Nice ball straight down the wing for Diani, who's into the box already. Diani is spooned by the goalkeeper. Wasn't the best cross. Could see what she was trying to do. Really got off well here. And just looking for Katoto, but just didn't quite manage to find her PSG teammate. Paris Saint-Germain getting ready for a Women's Champions League quarter-final against the English side Arsenal soon. Decent ball in again, but this time it's well dealt with by Becky. And Sinclair has come back all the way from the centre-forward position to almost play there the sweeper position. Again, though, first half started with Canada being pressured into giving up possession, and the second half looks fairly similar. Diani keeps the ball in. Torrent's going to get this. And that's come off the outside of her boot and nearly created a difficult situation for Kaylin Sheridan, but drifted over the bar harmlessly in the end. It's a lovely ball by Torrent, the right back. And Diani should have perhaps come up with a slightly better ball, dare I say it. A little too close to the goalkeeper, who wasn't the most comfortable with it, but the surface is very, very slippery. Thankfully, the rain, at least, has stopped. Mitoma on the attack, feeds it back into the path of Becky. Given up by Desiree Scott. Well, fought back, though, again by Becky. Oh, Henri's given that away to Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence under pressure from Diani, who's done well to get possession back again for the French. Henri into Diani, lovely little 1-2, keeps the move going forward. Katoto on the wing, 2 Canadians marking her, gets the ball in anyway though, nicely done. Katoto just a little too far for Majri, couldn't quite get it. And it goes out on the halfway line for a throw-in to the French. Well, the French almost camping in the last third of the Canadian half through the first half. It was a little disappointing. They didn't manage to create a little more with it, including 8 corners. Felt like more than that. Good tackle by Fleming on at half-time, and then fouled. Not by Asei. This was a Kachawi going through Schmidt. Good challenge after she'd initially managed to get past Fleming. Lawrence couldn't find Sinclair. Forward by Mbokbati, looking for Diani. And again, Rebecca Quinn there to make the challenge. Diani trying to go past Becky, and again the ball in is too close to the goalkeeper. It's a little bit how the first half went as well. Again, she does well to create the space and then just can't wrap her foot around the ball with the cross. Diani played all 5 matches at the World Cup last year. Set up just the 1 goal, though. She was dangerous, though, at the World Cup, but she was beautifully kept quiet in the quarter-final by USA's Crystal Dunn. And here comes Majri down the other flank now. Dangerous ball in, but Kadiatu, Diani can't get it on this near side, and Katoto in the middle just couldn't quite catch up with the trajectory of the ball. Majri here, not close to the goalkeeper that time. Ashley Lawrence on this near side. Didn't quite keep it out. That is a corner kick that perhaps didn't necessarily need to be given away. Asei is taken over from Majri, so we'll see an outswinging corner kick this time rather than the in-swinger. It's off the outside of the boot. Diani with the header. Back in again. Oh, there's a chance on the far side. I think it was Mbok. See the ball volleyed across, and it was the centre-back Grija Bokbati trying to volley it. Perhaps it's not the woman they would have wanted that ball to come to inside the 6-yard box. Diani. It's given up the ball to Lawrence. And then makes the challenge to make up for her initial mistake. I think that the Canadian coach wants them to be a little more direct when they're coming out of defence. At least that's what I could understand of what he was shouting. Forward by Schmidt. Rutema going down rather heavily. That springs back up again. Toron. Reynard lets it go back to Buhadi. Katoto. That's a little bit long for Henri, but she does well and finds Toron. Right back was a dangerous conduit for attack down the right flank in the first half. Finds Diani here in the second, and it will go out for a throw. Quinn again with the challenge. He was kept busy through the first half as well on this flank. Toron is going to try and throw this long, and in the end goes short. Gayoro back to Diani, and again too close to the goalkeeper. She's having real problems with her radar in this second half. Quinn feeds it into Desiree Scott, who is forced into the challenge by Gayoro. Masri goes down, free kick given again, Scott, who thinks she dived. That certainly seems to be what she's intimated to our referee. Well, as we said, the French woman did go down rather easily. Well, I guess that depends on whether you're French or Canadian as to whether you think that's a free kick or not. Really dangerous position, though. Unsurprisingly, Kayla Sheridan lining up a wall very carefully indeed. So then, will it be France's chief goal creator? Or are we going to see Amandine Henri take it on, or even Assayi? Oh, fabulous! Oh, Assayi's hit that fantastically well. And the deadlock is broken at last. Well, it was certainly a dangerous position. Viviane Assayi has come up there with her 5th international goal. And the Bordeaux forward hits that absolutely perfectly. No chance at all for Kayla Sheridan there. And the woman who was on standby for Les Bleus when they went to Canada for the 2015 Women's World Cup and only got her first taste of a major tournament in the French edition last year, comes up with one of the goals of the year. And France lead 10 minutes into the second half by 1-0. Well, perhaps that will just loosen the shackles a little bit now for this French side. Under pressure as the hosts. They certainly felt the pressure as hosts of the World Cup. This sort of pressure won't be anywhere near the same as that. When they went out against the Americans, a full house. Even Eugenie Le Sommet said afterwards that perhaps the occasion was too big for them. And they couldn't quite deal with it. They weren't used to playing in front of full houses. But the 7,000 who turned up today enjoyed that one. Gaillot cut out by Scott. Now, how can Canada react to this? Nicely done by Diani, finds Torrent. And Bokbati. Lots of space for Wendy Rayner to run into on that left-hand side. Majri's got on her bike already going forward, but it comes to her. Torrent. Diani just gives her some width. Comes back inside to Gaillot instead. Now Diani gets it. Torrent, Katoto comes to try and offer herself. Diani nearly missed by Gaillot. They're trying to open up this Canadian defence though. Torrent, little route into the box, decides to turn back though. Well, she rather wasted the opportunity there and then rather forlornly looks for the free kick, which was never going to come. Well, that was a shame because that was some nice little movement down this right-hand side, and it looks like Eugenie Le Sommet is about to make her entrance. Bokbati back to Bouhadi. Nice turn by Gaillot, trying to get away from Rebecca Quinn. Sayi, the goal scorer, out to Kachawi. Oh, Majri's got through. Majri going for goal. Strikes it right against Kadesha Buchanan. And it comes back to the other number 3, Wendy Rayner. Canadians have regained their poise and their positioning. And Bokbati rather sold that to a little bit short and now has to get back again. And she's so much quicker than either Sinclair or Witema that even when she makes mistakes, she's able to undo the damage. Gaillot, nice little ball forward, and there's space for Torrent. Looks for the dinked ball, but Schmidt cuts it out. Lawrence just about avoids giving it to Katoto, and look at her now. Oh, that's lovely from the Canadian. Really gets herself out of a cul-de-sac there. Scott. Schmidt. Riviere. Haven't seen too much of her yet in the second half, and that's a bit loose. Trying to find her again. Amandine Henry. The veteran French skipper. Again sees Torrent with oceans of room on this right-hand side. And Bokbati, chased by Witema, so feeds it into Amandine Henry, who herself is chased by Becky. Again, the captain gets it back, and this time Bokbati is a little more advanced. Diani. They need somebody in the middle. Katoto there has gone looking for the ball out on that left-hand side, and there was nobody in the middle when it came back in, or there either. Riviere, Sayi, Buchanan, Becky, Lawrence. Canada trying to get back into an attacking position. This is better from them in terms of passing. Buchanan now. Again, the first touch wasn't the best, and she was looking up and didn't take the ball with her. And it rather removed the opportunity. Sophie Schmidt gets it back again. French have just backed off into their own half and allowing the Canadians to have it. Now Diani chases after Quinn. Katoto goes after Buchanan. And Asei also joins in the pressing. And it works because they give the ball away. Majri. Kachawi. Kachawi again, just trying to unlock the Canadian defence at the moment. It's a little bit loose. Good challenge by Fleming. I thought she got the ball, but apparently not. Torrent. Well, she did get the ball, but out of control challenge. Sliding in with the studs into Torrent. That's going to hurt. Torrent has gamely got up again and is just composing herself. So Le Sommet is about to come on. Amel Majri is the woman who is coming off. Well, Majri's corners were terrific today. It's not one of her better performances. Charlotte Bilbao is also about to come on as well. And it's the goal scorer, Seyi, who is going to come off after this wonderful connection to put France in front. Yes, very much a reason to smile. And get a hug from the coach as well. Henry. Feeds it back to Gayoro, and now Torrent. There's a few French women in the box if they can get it in. Diani, back to Mbokbati. A few Allez les Bleus rock around the Stade de l'Epopée. But they need to create something here to lift this crowd again. First touch for Le Sommet, chasing after that record for international goals for a French man or woman. It's a loose ball looking for Mbokbati. Lawrence, chased after by Torrent, who's done well and tackled her. Diani, French again into the penalty area. Better ball from Diani. Well dealt with by Buchanan, but given away again on the outside. Driven back in again by the new woman on, Charlotte Bilbao, and again, Le Sommet. It's fitted straight into that place vacated by Amel Majri. Kachawi looking for Katoto. She picks it up again, and back to Reynard. Le Sommet, well picked off though by Schmidt. Into Scott, Sinclair. Now can the Canadians build something from this? They've got women forward. Scott again, space on this near side for Lawrence if they can find her. Here she is. Quinn. Chased back again though by Diani. Buchanan looking for Lawrence once more, but it's cut out by Torrent. Good play though. Substitute Jessie Fleming. Fleming gets it again. Sub looks up. Dangerous ball into the middle and well watched into her grasp by Sarah Bahadi. Well, that was a situation there that was set up by Fleming and nearly assisted. Good marking though by Wendy Reynard. Her and Christine Sinclair have been having a right old jostle since the beginning of the game. 25 minutes to go. France in front by 1-0. A splendid free kick from Viviane Asseyi. finally breaking the deadlock here against Canada. Quarter-finalists at the last World Cup have the upper hand against a team that were knocked out in the last 16. France looking for their 7th win over Canada. Good interception by Quinn. Henry, forced to hurry up by Scott, finds Reynard. Le Sommet, Guerrero, nicely done, and the substitute Le Sommet goes again. That was well done by Katoto. Ball into the box, Diani! Wonderful passing move that deserved a goal, but Kadiatu Diani just quite unable to guide the toe poke. Lovely play. Canada's defence well and truly opened up that time. Katoto did really well there with the little toe poke to keep it going, and Diani just unable to finish it off. Well, she has made it to double figures in international goals in her plus 50 appearances. The PSG winger just couldn't quite finish it off there, though. France building again. Good interception, though, by Scott. Le Sommet looks for the quick throw. Kachawi up against Riviere, who picks her pockets and makes the clearance. It will be a throw. Who will it be to, though? France or Canada? It'll be to Canada. Well, it's still only 1-0 with around 20 minutes to go. Canada certainly not out of this, but they aren't creating very much. The match feels on occasion that it's basically been Canada defending, France attacking. Quinn to Buchanan. Good little ball over to Riviere, who steps inside Le Sommet. Buchanan again. There's far too much of that for me in this game. Canada passing sideways or backwards, not showing enough ambition. Schmidt. Riviere again, that's better, but it's a cut out by Kachawi before it can reach Witema, and it's gone out for a throw. Before we get there, though, we are going to have another substitution and the introduction of Nichelle Prince for Jordan Huitema. Nichelle Prince, who plays for Houston Dash. Another woman with over 50 caps for her country, 25-year-old. Who hit the post with a deflected shot in the opening World Cup game against Cameroon. Delphine Cascarino is about to come on as well. One of the women who lost her place in the starting lineup today from the one that started against Serbia in the last game. And in their last game of 2019. Torrent. Down the line, lovely ball. Marie-Antoinette Katoto picks it up. Good ball in, looking for Diani. Again, the Canadians fail to get the ball clear. They'll get another opportunity now, though, with Fleming. All Scott nearly lost out, and Kachawi with a good ball, and Canadians still being rushed into passing mistakes when they are inside their own half. Le Sommet, nicely in, Guerrero just unable to go quick enough to catch up with it. There's a chill wind just blowing in now off the sea. Lights well and truly on. It's a nice ball by Becky to find Riviere. Scott, time to decide what she's going to do with it, and again it goes backwards to Quinn. Lawrence, she's certainly one of the women who's been trying to play more productively. Just unable to feed it in to Prince up front, who nearly got her first. Touchins coming on. Katoto, well, she knew she was offside. Sort of half-hearted attempt to get this ball. Went too early, just felt it. So then Kadiatu Diani comes off, just moments after she nearly made it 2-0, and Delphine Cascarino comes on to replace her. Like for like, one winger for another. Wonder whether we might see her centre defensive twin sister, Eugenie Estelle Cascarino, come on. Delphine, the more established of the twins in this national side. A pair of them came up through the age groups together and were successful there. Here's Torrent. Again, feeds it nicely. Good distribution from the fullback in this game. That's also a lovely ball from Henri that Buchanan just about managed to get to ahead of Le Sommet. Gayoro. Henri again. No way through, so she'll switch play. Kachawi. Katoto. Into Henri again, who is covered by Becky. Quinn, calmly done, finds Schmidt. Coming up to the last 15 minutes of the game. France are good for their lead, and arguably probably should be further ahead. Whereas Christine Sinclair's radar had been switched on a little more in the first half. They might well have gone behind in the first half, but Canada have had little to feed on, really, in terms of attack. Here is Sinclair. Again, Prince unable to direct the header, and so it returns to French possession. Cascarino gets her first touch. Up against Lawrence, and against Scott. Well, has to go backwards, but doesn't concede possession. Gets it back again. What will she do this time? Well, Torrent has come inside, which has allowed Cascarino to head down the flanks, but she's been double-teamed at the moment by Lawrence. She still gets the ball in, though. It's going to come all the way across. Katoto now with a chance on the left foot. Katoto shoots and hits Schmidt. Kachawi. Still the French pressure ramps up. Loose ball though into the middle by Bilbao, another of the French substitutes. Lawrence back to Quinn. That's not bad. Scott. Reynard with the challenge on Prince, and oh, it's gone the other way. Viviane Say's 55th minute free kick is still the strike that separates the two teams at the moment. With 15 minutes to go here at the Stade de l'Épopée. Kachawi, a little bit loose on the wrong wavelength with Katoto. Picked up by Scott. Canada still surviving. Only need one incisive attack forward. Buchanan. There's no movement, though, ahead of the back four at the moment, or the back five, you'd have to say, for Canada. And it's making it difficult for them to play incisive balls forward. Fleming again comes under pressure from Bilbo. Scott turns behind and finds Khadijah Buchanan. Sophie Scott now encouraged to go forward. Crosses the halfway line. Better into Prince. Again, tries to do a little too much on her own and gives it away to Kachawi, who's giving it away to Scott. Another chance for the Canadians. Ashley Lawrence. Back to Quinn. Oh, Lawrence, it was the right idea, but just slightly overhit the ball down the line, trying to beat Torrance for speed, and she would have done, but unfortunately the ball beat both of them. Well, after this game, France will head off to Valenciennes, where they will play Brazil, where they will also stay for their match next Tuesday against the Netherlands. Meanwhile, Canada, they welcome the Netherlands here in Calais before taking on the Brazilians after the weekend. Nice ball forward. This is a good chance here for Cascarino, and the goalkeeper made a good decision to come and get it, Kaylin Sheridan. Cascarino looking lively since she came on. This is Rivière. Turns inside Le Sommet. Scott back to Buchanan. Again, though, the Canadians labouring to make very few metres. Again, the challenge comes in from Gayoro on Scott, but Canadians retain possession this time. Buchanan decides that she's going to spread it over onto that far side. Rivière with the header, but couldn't find Prince. And Le Sommet now has it for France. Bilbo. Gets it back from Torrent. The run from Katoto, but intercepted by Buchanan. Back to, though, Gayoro, not the best header from the Canadian centre-back. Renard resisted the long ball to Torrent. He gets there in stages instead. Right back skips inside Becky. Gayoro. Cascarino. Gayoro feeds on again. Buchanan comes across to feed and mark. Cascarino. Nice footwork again from the substitute. Kyoto in the middle, looking for it from Le Sommet. Oh, Le Sommet's gone too far, and he went behind her. Paris Saint-Germain forward unable to be on the same wavelength as the Lyon one. Kachawi looking for Kyoto, and Buchanan makes the challenge but stays on the deck. The Sommet, oh, it's actually Amandine Henry that's got it, and the French were gesturing to the referee that something was not right with the Canadian centre-back. Well, she wasn't contacted by Katoto, which doesn't suggest it's anything good. This was the ball over to Cascarino. Ball just skidding off the turf, and the substitute just unable to get there in time. Cascarino's last goal came in the 4-0 win against Iceland back in October. So Gauvin looks like she's about to come on for France. Another attacking substitution coming up. Maybe it's going to be curtains for Katoto. Well, Buchanan trudges off on that far side. Canadians are going to be down to just the two centre-backs again for the time being. With 10 minutes to go, and it's still France 1, Canada 0. And if it was to end right now, you would say that it was a close game, but in all honesty, it's not been. France have dominated every facet of the game, except scoring, but at least they have scored once. Canada about to try and do something about that. Off we go again then, Torrent. Back to Mbok-Bate. To Cascarino. Tackled by Lawrence. Torrent quickly taken, finds Bilbo. Torrent, though, can't beat Scott. Looking for Gayoro. However, she has got the ball back now. Back to Mbok-Bate again. Wendy Reynard. Space on that far side for Kachawi. Closed pretty quickly, though, by Prince. Becky does well there. You see, that's the difference when you close them down like that. It forces the French into passing mistakes. Becky now feeds it back out. Prince on that far side. Going up against Kachawi and Henri. And, well, she never really got round the fullback to be able to earn the right to cross it. So then we're going to get some more substitutions on this near side. Deanna Matteson, fit again, is going to come on for Janine Becky. Gabrielle Carl is also coming on as well for Rivière. And Julia Grosso also coming on as well for Desiree Scott.
Number 16, Janine Becky is replaced number 8, Deanna Matteson. Number 23, Jay Ria. Number 14, Gabrielle Carl. And number 11, Desiree Scott. And number 7, Julia Grosso.
And Valérie Gauvin comes on for Marie-Antoinette Katoto, as we said. It's not gone quite the way that Katoto would have wanted. She had a good chance at the end of the first half, but she headed wide. So Gauvin, the more established centre forward, now comes on. I think that Katoto, a lot of the time, was running out of position, should have stayed a little bit near centrally. Kind of drifting out to the flanks and not being in the middle when the balls came in. Valérie Gauvin had a couple of goals at the World Cup, might have had 3, had one ruled out by VAR. VAR making a fairly controversial introduction to Women's World Cup football last year, fair to say. Good ball in from Canada. Well, that's the danger if France don't pay attention. It's picked up by Henri. To Reynard. Le Sommet back to her skipper. And the skipper back to the goalkeeper, Bahadi. Five minutes to go here at the Stade de l'Épopée in Calais. There's still France 1, Canada 0. France just 5 minutes away from making a winning start to the inaugural Tournoi de France. 1-0 at the moment. Henri with a little ball in, looking for Kachawi. It's going to be a little too far in front of the left back, though, for her to control. Or even get to. Amandine Henri, who is heading towards 100 caps herself. 10 or so to go before she joins a fairly exclusive club. Meanwhile, Eugénie Le Sommet trying to break the record for French goals scored internationally by Marie-Antoinette Pichon, who scored 81 in her career and incidentally a couple of days ago announced her retirement from football. How long will her benchmark last? Le Sommet has got 4 more minutes to try and join her on 81 goals. She's on 80 at the moment. Hasn't really had a chance, though, to go for goal so far. Torrent into the middle, looking for Gauvin. Gauvin with the header into the arms of the goalkeeper. And both players are down. The referee has given a free kick to Canada. Well, Gauvin has only just come on as a substitute, and Buchanan went up bravely with her. Torrent. It was offside in any case by the looks of it. And they just smacked heads as they were doing it. Oof. Oh, my word. Ouch. Well, let's hope they're both okay. Right onto the cheekbone of Gauvin by the forehead of Buchanan. Well, Buchanan is not moving either. Khadija Buchanan plays with a number of this French team, including Bahadi and Henry, Reynard and Bokbati, Delphine Cascarino, and indeed Le Sommet, but not with the woman that she's just head-butted, or clashed heads with, shall we see, a little more kindly. Valérie Gauvin, one of the few that plays outside of Lyon, or indeed of Paris Saint-Germain. Plays her trade for Montpellier. Well, Buchanan is up. Corinne Driac looks on in the rain. Unfortunately, Gauvin is also on her feet, but is looking very, very groggy. Not entirely sure we're going to see her back for this final part. You can see where she was hit, right on the cheekbone. That is going to be quite a bump. And I think the doctor there is explaining to her that he's not going to let her back on again. So laughing through the pain. Gauvin trying to suggest that she's okay to carry on. She's going to need a couple of minutes at least just to stop the birds flying around her head. Schmidt forward meanwhile. Canada on the attack. And again, Le Sommet back to break it up straight away. She and a host of French players breaking up the play in midfield all through this game against the Canadians. It's Matheson. Reynard has got it and feeds it back to Bouhadi, who decides to look long, looking for Gauvin, who's back on again, and looks all right. Guerrero, Bilbo, can't find Cascarino though, and is intercepted by the Canadian substitute Deanna Matheson. Good to see Deanna Matheson back from the cruciate ligament break she had in their friendly loss against Japan back in October 2014. They don't always come back from those sorts of injuries, players. She managed to do it, so she played at the 2015 World Cup. Matheson and captain Christine Sinclair are the only Canadian players with over 200 matches internationally. 4 World Cups, 3 Olympic Games. Her CV is pretty impressive. Nicely done by Lawrence. But again, the French close it down immediately. Delphine Cascarino this time, though. She gives it away to Matheson. Mattison, most recent injury in a career that has been somewhat blighted by them. Back from a toe injury and surgery that kept her out of last summer's World Cup in France, and indeed this year's Olympic Games qualifiers as well. She will be praying that she stays fit now before the Olympics in Japan. Also praying that nothing happens with regard to the schedule for the Olympics as well, with the coronavirus being considered by the IOC, a possible delay to the Olympic Games later in the year. It's just a precaution at the moment, being mooted. No decisions made yet. But a number of different championships and events have fallen foul of this epidemic. That's, oh, goodness me, from Henri there, just going wide of her own post. 2 minutes into time added on at the end of the game, and it was a dangerous ball in by Mattison, and Henri wasn't totally sure, I don't think, where that was going. Corner kick to Canada. Sinclair immediately sniffs an opportunity. Mattison swings it in again. Buchanan, and it'll be picked up by the goalkeeper Buhadi. France haven't had a 1-0 win since they beat Nigeria at the World Cup last year, thanks to a penalty from Wendy Reynard. Sinclair looking into the box, Prince trying to battle along with Kachawi, and it needs the goalkeeper to come and get it. Good keeping by Buhadi, diving at the feet of the Canada player. Prince just offering a little bit of a different challenge to the one offered earlier on by Witema. Here's Le Sommet. And Le Sommet has given that ball away. And now the Canadians have done so again as well. Over to Cascarino, good first touch from the substitute, ball into the box. Had to hurry a little bit with the arrival of Buchanan. Mattison. It's nicely done. Canada, chance to move out again. Good play by Julia Grosso. Spreads it wide onto that right-hand side. Down the line by Carla. A little bit overhit though. Well, that was slightly odd by Bilbao. Didn't quite know what to do with it. The referee, though, is blown for the end of the half and the end of the match. And Corinne Diac's France make a winning start to the first ever Tournoi de France, thanks to a beautifully hit free kick in the 55th minute, 10 minutes after half-time by Viviane Asseyi. The one piece of quality in a game, really, that struggled because of the weather. The rain in the first half, then stopped for a little bit, but then started again in the second. Canada barely had a chance in the game. They might, though, have sneaked a point. How Christiane Sinclair managed to get her header on target in the first half, but really, a French victory was logical. They would have liked it to have been by more, but in the end, they get set for their next match against Brazil by winning this one by 1-0 against Canada.
When the time comes for the game, fans will look for a place to live it, as if they were in the stadium itself. Make that place your pub. Sign up to OneSoccer for businesses and offer fans the best Canadian soccer and some of the best international leagues. The Canadian Premier League, the Canadian Championship, the CONCACAF Nations League, home games of the men's and women's national teams, the Chinese and Mexican leagues, Spanish women's soccer, the best insight and analysis on Canadian soccer and more. Choose the option that best suits your business and turn your pub into a place of pilgrimage. More information on onesoccer.com/business. Be the first to see that play, that brilliant goal. that amazing save. Be the first to know the results, to know how each team is doing, to know how every city is doing. Recite the names of your favorite players by heart, the names of all the players. Show that you know everything about each team. Even become an expert, but above all, do what you like most.